Hello everybody, and welcome back to my sunroom here on this beautiful day in autumn in East Tennessee. And I want to do a blooms tour with you all today. My miniature dendrobium, Solea Champu, is in full bloom, and she always marks the start of a new bloom cycle with all of my orchids. She's always the first to herald a new grow season. So here she is just so beautiful. I know there are many of you out there who love this orchid, and I do as well. And my channel is sponsored by the Orchid Supply Store. I get all of my bark, my New Zealand sphagnum moss, my pots, everything that I use with my orchids and all of my plants comes from the Orchid Supply Store. I appreciate my sponsor. I will place a link in my description box to their information. And also, be sure you use my coupon code Amy for a 12% viewers discount. And here are the beautiful blooms on my phal Magic Art. She is one of my favorites. She just came out of bloom and decided to throw up another spike and bloom again. She usually blooms through the summer. Several of you have asked me, what causes your phals to spike? And I've grown them for about 20 years here in East Tennessee, and I have never had any problems with getting my phals to spike. I don't really do anything special. We have such an abrupt change in seasons here. Between the end of summer and the beginning of fall, there's usually a big temperature drop. But someone asked me, what is the bottom temperature that your sunroom reaches in the fall and winter? I don't let it get below 64 to 65 degrees. I believe that once you expose your orchids to temperatures lower than that, your Phalaenopsis orchids lower than that, you can get some tissue damage. So I don't put them under any extreme temperature. I don't let them have like I don't let them get down to like 55 degrees. I just feel like that is way too cold. And just the regular temperature fluctuations here between the seasons, and also the fluctuation in the amount of daylight, I believe, triggers them to bloom. Now, interestingly, an increase in daylight and an increase in temperatures also gets a few of my Phalaenopsis orchids to bloom, like Magic Art and Purple Dust. And here's my beautiful phal Purple Dust. And I believe that the increase in the daylight and in temperatures causes her to spike and bloom, because she is the very first Phalaenopsis to spike and bloom in my whole collection. So it may not be a cooler weather trigger for some of your Phalaenopsis orchids. It could be an increase in the temperature and the day lengths. So it just depends. But I did want to address that question about cooler temperatures. When there's a cool off, that doesn't mean that you submit your orchid to very cold conditions. That will damage your plant, and then it won't bloom, or you will get tissue damage, which that's just not what you want to do. Nothing that drastic needs to be done, at least in my experience. And I've got to give you a close-up of Purple Dust. She's just absolutely beautiful. Another question that showed up on my channel pretty recently was, how many ice cubes do you use in a week to water your orchids? And I have not addressed that in some time. Here we go. I never use ice cubes on my orchids. I did one time when I was going on vacation. I thought that I was doing myself a big favor and my orchid a favor by putting just a few ice cubes on it before I went to vacation. And when I came back, that orchid did not make it. Orchids do not grow where it's snowing and where there is ice. They like warm water. They like to be watered with warm water, not with cold water. and definitely not ice cubes. Don't use ice cubes on your orchids. It will cause the roots to burn from the extreme cold. Another viewer asked, how many of your phals right now are in spike? Okay, all of my phals are in spike. They have just started to spike, except for 3. And those 3 have just recently come out of bloom. My phal Tahiti sunsets, both of them, they tend to bloom during the summer months. And then my phal, Sogo Red Poker, that one's not in bloom either. It just came out of bloom here very recently too. Those bloom a little bit later in the year for me. So probably sometime next month or in December, they'll start spiking, but they're all spiking. So everybody that I have repotted, yes, they're all spiking. So I am just really happy. This is an exciting time of the year for people when their phals start spiking, and it's like the new bloom season starts. Some more really great news is buds just continue to pop out all over my big white Schlumbergera here, my Thanksgiving cactus. This is now just covered in little buds, and yes, it's going to definitely bloom before Thanksgiving. Several of you have shared with me that you're getting your Thanksgiving cacti to bud. So that is just such great news, because you know when they're budding right now, they're going to bloom for you in time for the holidays, and that is exciting. I believe that since this cactus has had more sunlight this year, that has made a huge difference. In the past, this one has not bloomed as well as the others, and I believe I wasn't giving it enough sunlight. So she's very, very happy here in front of all these windows and getting all of this light. And here's Big Red, and he was not budding out quite as quickly as the white cactus was. So I turned the grow light back on him just about a week ago, and all of a sudden when I turned that grow light on, there are little red buds popping out all over him. Now, I will turn this. I don't pick this up. I could not pick up this cactus. It probably weighs, about 100 pounds, if not 120 pounds. I think that my husband said it was more like 120 pounds. But I will turn it just a little bit every day so that it gets an equal amount of light, so that it just won't have a dark spot. You know, sometimes like way back there, I can tell it's darker than it is over here. There's a light over here on my dendrobium that it also gets some light from, but I just want to make sure that it gets ample light all the way around in this darker corner of the room. But these grow lights have really worked. As you see, this one is very, very bright. So I place it on a level 10. That's an LED light, and it gets 8 hours a day of light right now. So it's worked very well. And here's something else I wanted to share with you all today. I got a new African violet shelf about around my birthday last month. And I put some grow lights on this. I just attached some halo lights to this shelf, and my African violets are blooming so much better and growing so much better. And here's an example of those. Back here is one that my friend Tammy shared with me. Of course, here is Frozen in Time. The huge one that I showed you all about 6 months ago, it had just divided itself in two, so I went ahead and made 2 plants out of it, and they're just doing really well. The rosette of this one, let me show you. The rosette of this is just really, really pretty. And I'm trying to get all of them converted over to wicks because I just like that method a lot. I love the fact that I don't have to come back here and lift pots, you know, to see who needs to be watered. So I am slowly but surely getting them all placed on wicks. And these are my huge purple no ID African violets that Patrick sent me. And I believe that to date, these have had 12 babies, yes. And as you see, I've got this one on a wick. I've had it on a wick for about a month. And I figured out the only thing I didn't want to do here was have this algae ridden. I thought, oh goodness, it's so humid here. And I knew if I didn't do something to keep it from growing algae, like in a clear pot, that I would have problems with it. So I bought these they're pink purpley solo cups. And I'm glad to report that even with all the humidity that we had last month, no algae grew in the water. So I was very happy about that. This little one right here is one that my friend Sharon sent me. Just a little baby one right here. And can you believe that she's got little tiny buds on her already? I mean, I just separated this one maybe a week ago and she's already starting to bud and bloom. So, and I also ordered some leaves from Linden Lion. My friend Barbara Justice told me about their site. Oh my goodness, Barbara, I see what you said, what you were talking about now. I got some leaves from them that are going to be fantastic. That's what you see behind these African violets. Let me show you what I've done. I ordered 5 different leaves, and when you order leaves from them, like if you order a certain type of an African violet, they send you 2 leaves instead of just 1, just so that if one of them does not sprout and have babies, you'll have another backup. And so I must say that sprouting your leaves this way in the baggies, that is so much easier than the traditional way. This is the first time I've tried this, and as you see, I've had success. So yes, I've got some beautiful African violets growing in these baggies. I cannot wait to see these bloom. And let me give you a close-up of this one that my friend Tammy sent me. This one is absolutely beautiful. This is the second time that this one has bloomed, and I started this from a leaf this time last year. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and since I have this one growing under a light, the colors are a lot more vivid too. So this is just a beautiful little plant. And I'll end this video where we started, and you can see the leaves in the background starting to fall. Oh yes, it is that time of the year. My sweet husband gets to rake a lot of leaves this time of the year. So I wanted to thank all of you for going on this tour with me. I love doing my blooms tours and sharing all the beauty with you all. Thank you to my viewers, to my subscribers, to my members. I just appreciate you all more than you know. And I would love to say the blessing over you, your families, and your plants. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn His face towards you and give you His peace. You all make it a great day, and we'll talk to you next time.